if you have, since I've been here even at points, when we've had very few people coming in, and somebody will have something later in the meeting, we've accepted those comments. But it has to do with, if you've got 11 people and you've got 11 before and 11 after, then the board doesn't have time to do its own job. So you have to watch and see how things go, and then it's possible it could be changed later on and still make sense for the board and the community.
I'm sorry.
We'll get through these comments and...
That's related to this.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
It just seems like last
Could you
month.
share, could you do me a favor before you start, go share, so you can capture it, and then it's, you can just share your name.
Oh yeah, Wes Jones. It just seems like last month there were a number of items that came up, but didn't seem like there was any material provided to know what to comment about those items. Seems like the balance between those things, there's an agenda, but some of the details are missing. So those things were provided before the meeting so you could read about what was going to be discussed and then have a chance to make a comment. It seems like that would help.
Are you aware that the minutes are online? Did you have the
Yeah,
opportunity
I've
to
seen
read that
minutes, I've
yet?
seen the agenda, but like last month, there were a number of items that were provided in the agenda, but none of the details behind them. So I wasn't sure how to comment on those things without knowing what the details were to comment on them. So if more details were provided with the agenda, then maybe we would have a better chance to comment before they were voted on.
Thanks, Leslie. Both are done? George Foster.
I'd just like to say thank you to everyone that has served for your diligence and for your dedicated service to the village. And I hope that the oncoming board will take up the challenge and do things for all the right reasons. Give a lot of careful thought, just as careful thought as you've given in your past decisions, because we all benefit from having a good school system here. I also would like to reiterate that I'd like to see DiGiorgio be part of the labor negotiations team to help balance out some of the hard numbers that we're going to have to crunch here in the future. Thank you.
Thanks, George. Sandy Cook.
Good evening. My comment is kind of the same. I would like to see DiGiorgio as a choice on the union negotiating committee.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming out.
Thanks.
Pam Hammond. Hi, Pam.
Hi, I'm here to also show my support for Giorgio and to see how I'm going to negotiate something.
And Pam Crombie.
I'm also here to recommend that the board consider her to do negotiations with the whatever contracts, labor contracts, and union negotiations. But I'm also very concerned about the busing issue. I no longer have children in this district, but it's frightening for me to even imagine the winter that we've had and will continue to have, where we don't have paved sidewalks, and these kids are being put at risk when they're walking to school because they're not able to plow. When they do plow, the banks are this high, and there's cars that go past really quickly that don't maybe even see the kids walking to school. And I think that the district here, I think we're putting ourselves at a big risk here by putting these kids in a position where they're walking to school and they have no legitimate form of transportation. I don't know. I think that this was a bad decision in my opinion, and I think we have to reconsider that so that the kids have a safe way to get to school.
And then Jack Crombie.
Good evening. I'm just here as a concerned citizen in support of all the new board, and in particular Dee. I'd like to add my support to the other people for Dee being on the committee. But I say this, by the way, as a liberal. I know Dee's a conservative and I'm a strong liberal, but I just add my voice to give my support to her. And I'd also like to encourage the board to focus on the fact that this is a school, and the focal point, the objective of the school is to educate the children. And this should be all about educating the kids.
Thank you for your kind words. That's probably going to be reiterated by everybody sitting out there on the board as we are here for the education of our children. That's what the board is here for. Any other public comments or questions?
Yeah, I didn't get a chance. My name is Jordan Dorsey. I didn't get a chance.
That's okay, you got me
Okay,
names
good.
straight.
Let me know. And what's that?
Jordan, how do you spell your, Jordan? How do you spell your last name?
M-A-D-O-R-S-K-Y.
Thank you.
I want to thank you for this opportunity to speak. A couple of things I want to say. I will also speak for Dee as a negotiator. And I'd like to stress to the board that the larger principle here is, I don't think anybody who voted no for the referendum or voted yes for Dee did so because we thought that Dee had all the answers. You know, Rumpelstiltskin was the last person or thing that could spin straw in the gold. And we've got a money problem here. I do think that the reason that Dee got so much support was because we want to get more control of the schools. We want to get more control of the district. And unfortunately, we're going to have to do more with the union in terms of negotiation. I give credit to the board because, as I've said often, school boards often have a series of bad choices to make. So much of what goes on is really decided at the state level. So I just wanted to stress that it isn't that everybody thinks that this is mathematically going to be different. It's just it's the approach we're asking for. And also, I just had a suggestion too. I'd like to say, I think that it's, I guess the taxpayers. You're Dr. Geiser, yes?
Yes, sir.
I think you got it a little bit wrong in the newspaper when you said that we wanted to vote yes for this. I think a lot of people, including me, who voted yes the last time around, voted no out of principle, because we said, how can you come back to us again with this? I don't even think the board really expected this to pass, in all honesty. I would suspect they kind of knew where this was going to play itself out. But I also wanted to say that I think after the state funded, raised our income tax to 67%, cut school funding, and then basically put it on all of our backs to fight it out is really an insult to the taxpayers. And I have a suggestion I would like to make, and I mean this in all sincerity. I would like us to have a school board meeting at the state capitol building. I'd like to get all the people there. I would like the state to understand what really we're going through, what the community fights over when they just decide to cut school funding like this. They have all sorts of problems. And my thinking was, we're no different than all these other districts. We could easily work this out to where there could be a week of school board meetings right in front of the governor's office saying, this is what you're doing to us. This is what you're doing to our communities. Please, let's put the schools where they belong. There's an obligation that the schools have from the state to be funded. And everything else, the pensions get funded, okay, or they put this where the checks go out, but vendors don't get paid, school districts don't get money, and instead we fight amongst ourselves, and I just think it's wrong. I'd like to thank you all for giving me the opportunity to speak. Thank you.
Anybody else?
I had turned in a sheet.
Could you just state your name?
Dan Giorgio.
Dan.
I would also like to recommend Dee for the negotiating committee.
That's it?
Yep.
Thanks. Any other public comments or questions? If not, we'll go ahead and close that portion of the meeting. And I'll have the approval of looking for a motion to approve the March 21st minutes of the regular board meeting. So moved. And a motion and a second. Any discussion? That man can take the roll.
Ellison. Hall.
Yes.
Heine.
Yes.
Lambert. Yes. Leach. Yes. Thompson.
Yes.
Nugent.
Yes. For the minutes, I need to read in the results of the April 20th canvass regarding the proposition to issue $4 million worth of cash working fund bonds. Votes received were 298 for and 1,241 against. For the 2-year term, the candidate with the most votes in the one seat was Jim Leach at 431. The 4-year terms was a vote for 3, and the top 3 are on the board will be sworn in shortly. Dee Giorgio with 503, Kim Young with Kathy Zimmerman with 454, and Kimberly Young at 445. And with that, I want to thank the administrators, and before I get to the oath of office to the new board members, and I have some papers, I want to thank the administrators and the current board for serving the community well, in my opinion, and a lot of support from me, and I appreciate your help. With that, if Dee and Kim and Kathy would come up front and take a stand, and I will swear you into office. If you want, or the oath is in your hands, if you would like to come back.
Yeah, they want you to.
Yep. All right. And you can follow along, just get there so you can not get stumbled. Repeat after me. I, and then state your name.
James W. Leach.
Do solemnly swear.
Do solemnly swear.
There you guys go. That I will faithfully discharge.
That I will faithfully discharge
The duties of the office.
the duties of the office
Of member of the Board of Education.
of member of the Board of Education
Of Winthrop Harbor School District Number 1.
of Winthrop Harbor School District Number 1
In accordance with the Constitution of the United States.
in accordance with the Constitution of the United States,
The Constitution of the State of Illinois.
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
The laws of the State of Illinois.
and the laws of the State of Illinois,
To the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
I further swear that
I further swear that
I shall respect the taxpayers' interests
I shall respect the taxpayers' interests
by serving as a faithful protector
by serving as faithful protector
of the school district's assets.
of the school district's assets.
I shall encourage and respect
I shall encourage and respect
the free expression of opinion
the free expression of opinion
of my fellow board members and others
by my fellow board members and others
who seek a hearing before the board
who seek a hearing before the board
while respecting the privacy
while respecting privacy
of students and employees.
of students and employees.
I shall recognize
I shall recognize
that a board member
that a board member
has no legal authority as an individual
has no legal authority as an individual
and that decisions can be made
and that decision can be made
only by a majority vote
only by a majority vote
at a public board meeting.
at a public board meeting.
And I shall abide by the majority decision of the board
And I shall abide by the majority decisions of the board
while retaining the right
by retaining the right
to seek changes in such decision
to seek changes in such decisions
through ethical and constructive channels.
through ethical and constructive channels.
Thank you. If you guys want to take a seat for just 1 second, I'll ask for a motion to. With that, I will ask for a motion